The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Greetings to all of our viewers out there, and welcome to ECAT, Easton Community Access Television. And we also welcome you to our show, held on a monthly basis. And of course, it's called Easton 300, as we plan and prepare for the 300th anniversary for the town of Easton, Massachusetts. And of course, that'll be in 2025. I'm Dave Clifton here along with co-host Brian Hoffman, and we have three exciting guests that we're going to introduce. And again, we're going to be talking about the importance of public safety. We're going to be talking about all the events that'll take place during the year 2025. And time is flying, Brian, as we get closer and closer. We're almost 6 months away from January 1st, 2025.
We are indeed. It's amazing that we're in June now, and I remember sitting down with you in August of 2023 thinking 2025 is a long ways away. And 6 months isn't that far anymore. So I think one of the things that we've recognized as we've worked on Easton's 300th anniversary is that there's so much that community does to serve community. It's we've seen this kind of as a fabric that keeps getting woven, and there's more and more threads of support and involvement. And it's great to have Chief Boone, Chief Partridge, Dave Field, our DPW director, with us to talk about the kinds of things that are going to, I think, be of interest to people and probably be of concern to people too as we start to look at events that are not normal everyday events in the town of Easton. We're a small town. We're a big town in terms of acreage and so forth, but we're a small town. And I think that people think about these things and think, wow, this is overwhelming. And I think part of today's show will be to provide the information for our viewers and for those around the town to say, it may sound overwhelming, but it's something that we've got the talent to be able to handle. So it's great to have the chiefs here.
And as Brian mentioned, on my left, your right, we have our fire chief, Justin Alexander. He's going to be very much involved in the fireworks and the bonfire as the coordinator. And on my right, your left, in the viewing audience, we have Keith Boone, the chief of police here in the town of Easton. And on my far right-hand side, we could call him the DPW chief, but they call him the director, Dave Fields. One time I was talking about you and I mentioned not Dave Fields, but I said Dave Parks, but I had the same area, but it is Fields. And I certainly welcome you on behalf of Brian and myself to do this show for our viewing audience out here in the town of Easton to talk about a major celebration. Yes, it will be a year-round celebration. It begins in January, it ends in December, and I think the time has come for us to celebrate. The world's gotten a little crazy out there, but I can tell by talking to people throughout the community that they're excited about this celebration. They're looking forward. Can you imagine 1725 to 2025? I'm going to start with you, Chief Boone. Security is important. Safety is important whenever you get large crowds together. And we're going to expect large crowds to attend this celebration regardless of the event. You have been dealing with other chiefs of police and other communities. There has to be a concern about large crowds coming together. And you, I know, as a chief, are giving a priority to safety.
I am. Excuse me. So I try to lean on what our peers do, and we have Foxborough with the stadium, just a town away, and Mansfield with their concert venue. So we've worked very closely with them, and they have these, Gillette Stadium has 100,000 people in one spot weekly throughout the football season and different events throughout the year. And Mansfield will have concert venues throughout the week. So we have a good knowledge base on how to structure vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic and let people enjoy the time they're having, and we can stay in the background and just make sure it's safe. So that's really where we come from. So I have that, really a 20-year knowledge base with working at Gillette Stadium and over at the concert venue to try to rely on what I've gained from those times.
Yeah.
And our DPW director, Dave Fields, he has a big role in our celebration. When you think about hanging 90 banners, putting them up in October of 2024, and of course taking them down in December after the year-round celebration ends. This is a big-time celebration. We're going to be celebrating 300 years. And behind Brian, we have a copy of the banner. And of course, it has the logo on it. And the logo was done by Piper Janalis. What a terrific job she did.
She did.
And that is scattered throughout the community, whether it be on posters or in stores. And we're looking forward to this celebration. But even cleaning up after events, it's a major involvement. And I thank you so much, Dave, for being involved in this. And I think I've said to you before, you've got a terrific first name.
Agreed. Yeah, and so a lot of logistics go into events like this, and Public Works does this on a daily basis. We support various functions, parades, graduation, voting, large town meetings that we've had at Stonehill. We work very closely with our partners at Police and Fire. So it's something that, logistics-wise, DPW is happy to help out and support the Tricentennial any way we can. There'll be a lot of issues, solid waste, recycling, cleaning up, sweeping parade routes, setting up traffic detours or parking areas, things like that. We're happy to help out wherever we can.
And Brian, we as a committee certainly want to make an effort to make sure that we got the appropriate spelling on all the banners. We certainly don't want DPW to put them up, take them down. We want to do it once, and certainly our plan is to go to the printer with 2 lumps, maybe 60 the first time, and another 30 will come back and put them up. Our fire chief, Justin Alexander, plays a major role in the celebration. When you think about the fireworks display and, of course, the bonfire, he is a co-coordinator of both events. And how lucky we are to have a fire chief involved chairing the event. Usually we're pleading with the fire chief to give us whatever support he can. But he did a great job of making a presentation to the superintendent of schools here in the town of Easton, and also the school committee. Tell us about it.
So I got Dave over here gave me the thought of where we could do it, because we were looking for a home for the fireworks and the bonfire, and great location down behind the JV field where the shot putters throw, and went down and took a look and got some experience with bonfires and fireworks and thought it would be a good fit. And reached out to the superintendent and school committee and went and met and had a great conversation with them. Very thankful. Thank you to the school committee and Superintendent Dr. Cabral for the support, because it's going to be a great location because it's self-contained, plenty of parking. It'll help police and DPW because it's just one site. It's very happy with it. It's going to be really, really great spot for it.
And they're going to rope off the area hours before, I guess.
Yeah, when the fireworks are on site, we'll rope it off and have the proper separation so everybody's safe. And the bonfire, we don't need to do that until much closer to the time we light it. But we'll follow all the regulations and we'll be very safe, and it's going to be a great night.
So
Both
one
nights.
of the thoughts that occurs to me in finding out where this is, that's an area of elevation in the town that should give visibility to people all over the town, because there's not too many things in the town of Easton that are at an elevation higher than the high school property, the campus up there. So that should give good viewing, I would think, to just about everybody in town.
I think so, and I think it'll be heard by,
Oh, yeah.
by many around town for sure. So you won't have a problem knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
You see the glow of the bonfire probably. That'll be big as well.
I can imagine.
And again, we repeat that date, June 14th, which happens to be Flag Day. That's 2025. So make sure that you understand we're in 2024. If you go to the school, that's the high school, Oliver Ames High School. It'll be on the lower field. Don't expect that there'll be fireworks this year. It's going to be in 2025. And of course, the bonfire will be October 11th. And of course, it'll be at the same location.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be terrific. I'm going to pass it over to my co-host, Brian. He has some important questions.
Well, I don't know about important, but things that I want to know, and I think that our viewers want to know as well. And Dave Field, I'll throw the first one to you. You went through the litany of all the things that you're going to pay attention to pretty quickly, like there's nothing to this. And yet I think to the average citizen out there, their thought is just the opposite. There's a lot to that. What are the challenges when you look at it as a director of DPW? You know, where are the strangle points? Where are the things that you're saying to yourself, we've really got to do a good job on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think setting up for events and helping with traffic control and in other large type of events, just something that DPW is used to doing, and we're really not concerned. We're happy to help, and there's obviously going to be things we have to pay attention to, but this is just another day for DPW. So we'll make sure we're ready to go, and we'll be having meetings and planning coordination events before this, for each of the events, to go over all the items. Make sure we have parking, trash, bathrooms, all those things taken care of. So again, I know it seems like a far away time, but it's really not. But as we lead up to those, there'll be a lot of planning goes into every event.
Yeah, you're going to have just another day 8 times over, though. And the other thought that that came through my head, and I think this is for both Chief Boone and Chief Alexander, is, and Keith, you mentioned this, that you've got experience with surrounding towns who do large events. Does something like this, or at least some of these events, do they kind of call for backup for the other communities standing by in case you need it, or do they actually participate on things that impact them?
Yeah, we have mutual aid agreements with a lot of with all of our surrounding towns and part of the Metro community. So, the difficult thing is trying to gauge what participation will be on a lot of these events. I know some of them at Stonehill, so that's a little different than having a town bonfire. I would suspect that everyone wants to come and see that because we've never had one before. I'm more excited as a resident to be there and bring my family to be part of it. So part of the planning phase and the coordination phase that Director Field mentioned, we'll strategize on what we think we need for traffic control and things like that.
Great, thank you. Chief, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think that we should manage pretty well with it. I don't think there's going to be any real issues. I think it's circling back to even what Dave was saying. We're used to it.
It's what we do.
Just another day.
We're used
just
to it.
Just another year.
Yep. We'll have some safety there. We'll have the biggest thing for us is going to be making sure that we're able to respond to any medical emergencies, things that might happen there, and also making sure that, because the high school is an access point for us to reach the other side of town, going through the process like the Randall Street. So making sure we position our apparatus well and we're ready to go. But generally, we shouldn't have a problem.
Great. Before we started, you and I were chatting a little bit about the Citizen Emergency Response Team that was started a number of years ago. And I had asked you, is it still active? And you said very much so. What kind of a role might they play? How do you involve those folks who are members of our community, in these kinds of events?
So we have a great group of volunteers for our CERT team. So I gave them a shout out. So they're all there, and they're no matter what we ask them to do, they're great, and they come out and they get it done. And they'll help out with parking, making sure people can get to parking, and if we're going to have any type of shuttles or anything like that, especially people who have mobility issues, they'll help coordinate that and get them over to the sites. They'll also help the night of with crowd control for the bonfire in particular. So one of the interesting things with the bonfire is that we'll have people very far back at the beginning because it's very, very hot at the beginning. So we have them, 250 feet away. But as it burns down, you can let them get closer, and it turns into the ultimate campfire.
Oh, it does.
And they'll be helping out with the line and letting people advance as we go. So different tasks like that. But they do other things in town too, like they help us at fires. They provide firefighter rehabilitation and take care of us at fires. So a very versatile group, and they'll definitely be involved for the Tricentennial.
Will some of these events necessitate aid stations, things that these people will man in case of, somebody's feeling faint or somebody, those kinds of issues? We used to run into them with road races. I don't know whether these are the same.
Yeah, we take them. So depending on the size and scope of what's happening and what we anticipate, it could either be from something from the CERT team to firefighter personnel with an ambulance standing by. So we kind of take a look at what we're going to anticipate, and as we get closer, when we have the planning meetings, we'll figure out what that's going to look like.
Great.
If you just joined us, folks, you're watching Easton 300. It's a monthly TV show that talks about the plans as we prepare for the year 2025. It'll be the 300th anniversary for the town of Easton. Right now, we have a total of 8 signature events that are planned and scattered throughout the year on purpose. We didn't want to have everything. As someone asked me the other day, what day is the celebration on? It's going to be a year-round celebration. There's going to be lots of things happening. And we're excited about it. It takes lots of people. And I say to the folks out there watching, if you're interested in volunteering, certainly give us a call. Maybe you'd still like to make a donation. It takes lots of funds in order to make a major celebration like this take place. Our guest here in the TV studio, the fire chief, the police chief, and the DPW director. And Brian, it takes a team effort, and I wanted to thank my committee for their hard work since early 2023, planning and preparing for the celebration. I know the Easton Select Board appointed 10 members, but we now have about 40, including volunteers like coordinators for each event, and all the people who have stepped up and responded to our meetings. So we now have a schedule, we have a logo, we have a post office box, we have a website, we have a cookbook that's already been addressed. We're working on the anniversary book. It'll come out and be available for residents to purchase at the end. The celebration is going to include the opening event, which we call the kickoff event. It'll be at Stonehill College. And of course, that will be something that will be held during the day. It's going to be indoors and outdoors. And we thank Father John at Stonehill College, the president, for making the facility available for the first and final event.
This is Easton 300, a monthly program to highlight the events that are coming up during 2025, the 300th anniversary of the town of Easton, and all of the folks who are involved in making those a reality. With us today is Easton's Fire Chief, Justin Alexander, Police Chief Keith Boone, and our Director of Public Works, Dave Fields. And we're taking this opportunity not only to talk about the events, but to talk about what this means to the community as a community. Dave mentioned before the break that this is quite a large undertaking, and it really is an incredible community that's bringing it all together with volunteers and people, standing up to do something to help make this a great success. And as he said earlier, we're very fortunate, very thankful to have the chiefs and Director Fields here, and I think it might be helpful for our viewers to find out a little bit more about these folks. So if we could start, Dave, with you, a little bit about who's Dave Field and where did he come from? How did he get here?
Sure, thanks. So I'm a civil engineer by training. I graduated from UMass Dartmouth. I've been in municipal engineering and public works for about 27 years. I worked in a few communities, started off in Mansfield, then went to Dedham, and then I've been here. I'm going on my 13th year here. So love Easton, it's a great community. And that's pretty much it for me. The highlight of my is my family, basically. I have two wonderful children that are just going to college now. So it's a lot of fun. But again, Easton's a great place to work, and it's a great community. We have great staff as well. So
sure. And I think Chief Boone, you've been here a long time and up through the ranks with the police department. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, born and raised in Easton, fourth generation. My great-grandparents came here in the early 1900s, so they were here for the 200th anniversary, I believe. I started as a special police officer in 2002, so I'm entering my 22nd year with the town. I served as a special officer, patrol sergeant, the deputy police chief, and going into my second year as police chief now. I got my graduate degree from Bridgewater State University, an Oliver Ames graduate. My son is over at Blanche Ames right now, so repeating the process with my son. My mom lives in town. My family's still all here, so I love the town. I made a priority to stay here and try to work here, and it's been successful so far. So I'm proud of the town. I'm proud of who I get to work with every day, and we have a great team across the board, from all of our town government to our police officers to our fire department, our DPW staff, you folks. We have a great team in Easton of volunteers. So it's a great community, and this is exciting to be part of the 300th. So we're looking forward to it.
And his entire family, they're all Tigers.
They are.
How about you, Chief Alexander?
So I grew up in Rainham, so right next door. My family's been in the fire service in one form or another, family members, for 4 generations. So it was my first memories as a little kid were in a firehouse, which is great. Always have them. And I started when I was 18 as a call firefighter in Rainham. And then in 2004, went to Plainville as a full-time firefighter. Took over there in 2013 as their chief, and then came here in 2021. And I'd like to spend the rest of my career in Easton. I think it's a great community and very supportive. It's just a wonderful place. And I'll tell you, growing up next door, I always knew where Easton was, but I never knew how great it was until I got to work here. So it's just a great spot. And
who's the guy that swore you in as the new fire chief?
My father. Yeah, so he's a retired lieutenant out of Rainham. So he lives in Texas, so he flew up special for that, and very proud moment to have that. My brother's also a firefighter, and he's on Rainham Fire currently. So they were all there. So it was a really nice event. And so outside of work, I have, again, my 13-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old daughter. They keep me occupied and have a lot of fun. And between that, working on the house, and a pilot, so aviation is my other passion outside of family and the fire service. So pretty much sums me up pretty quick in a nutshell.
One of the things that we hope that this celebration will do is to bring families together, and that happens to be the theme of the whole celebration, bringing families and community together here in the town of Easton. And of course, lots of folks in town have a great sense of community. And there are going to be some folks who will be coming together for the first time with their families and enjoying their neighbors. And I think that's what a celebration like this will do. It's all positive stuff. It's time for the town of Easton to celebrate. And I just wanted to mention, Brian, to the viewing audience that we have a total of 8 signature events. And of course, these events are sponsored and hosted by the Tricentennial Committee, appointed by the Easton Select Board. They've been on board planning and preparing since early 2023. That's how long it takes to put all this together. So we're going to have a kickoff event in January January 4th to be exact, at Stonehill College. There's going to be an art and cultural festival on April 26th. We also plan on having a giant parade. It'll go I should say, Center Street, turn right on Main Street, and then it'll end at the church. So it's a pretty good distance for a parade, but it's going to be a pretty good sized parade. We hope to have lots of engines, lots of partnerships from other towns, whether it be police or fire. June 14th is going to be a special day. It's Flag Day. Gives us an opportunity to have a townwide picnic at the Governor Ames Estate. And of course, that picnic will be from 12 to 4 p.m. It's going to include a band concert. It's going to include a very special salute to all of the Easton veterans in the town of Easton. And of course, everything from music to what have you. There'll be games for the kids, and it'll be a special time. If that's not enough, in the evening, we go to the high school. It'll be a concert. There may be food trucks there. And certainly we'll have the fireworks going off at 9. The gala will be on December 27th at Stonehill College at the athletic facility. And the president of the college, Father John, will address the group. And it's a black tie event. And as I say to people, we'd like to have people get their tuxedos out, the gowns out.
Dust it off.
If someone refuses to wear a tuxedo, meet me at the side door. We want everybody to be there. The fact is that it'll be the final event of the year.
Yeah.
And of course, we're going to present a gift to the town of Easton after the celebration. And of course, there's going to be a major block party that's going to take place on September 6th. We're going to block off the main street. We decided not to have it at the same time as the parade. We're going to have it on a separate day. And the parade committee, of course, they're having difficulty getting bands and everything because everybody has other commitments already in other towns they've been doing for years. So it's a major celebration. There's going to be 3 other things so far that have been planned, not sponsored by our committee, but there are groups in town. Langwater is going to have a family fun day. That is scheduled for October 11th. And then we're going to have an antique car show at Borland State Park, 300 antique cars.
Yep.
The cookbook is finished, 300 recipes. Post office box is 300. We're organized, and that's a very important number. We ask the folks in our visiting TV audience, please put those dates aside, and they'll be published all over town. We thank the sponsors for jumping in to help us. We have a total of 8 major sponsors who have contributed. Shout out certainly to Dave, to Keith, as well as Justin, our fire chief, police chief, and DPW director for joining us today. I say to each and every one of you out there, this, should say TV production is certainly been put together by ECAT, Easton Community Access Television. I say to all the folks out there watching, go forth to serve, do it with a smile on your face. And folks, save those dates in 2025. We will be celebrating a giant celebration in the town of Easton. I ask all of our guests to give a thumbs up, not only to the schools, to Stonehill College, certainly to Langwater Farms. We appreciate the efforts of Memorial Hall. We thank the Governor Ames Estate, and of course, everybody coming together to make this dream come through. Happy anniversary to the town of Easton. It'll be 300 years in 2025. Thank you for joining us. And let me throw this in. Go Celtics
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
against the Dallas Mavericks.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.